That's
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
accurate. Just start
I'm
things.
Pat.
Hey Pat, how you doing? I'm Jeffrey.
Sleepy time, man.
Yeah, any particular reason?
No particular reason, man. Just sleepy today.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had to chew through a bunch of grading and stuff, but
Well, I guess that that can definitely contribute to things. Like, do you find yourself just doing a whole bunch of grading or shit like that actually kind of wear down your brain?
not like it used to, man. I mean, like everything that I teach now, it's stuff that I've seen before, so
Yeah.
I can look at most of the things that people submit within about 10 seconds and know what grade I'm going to give it. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, because I've done all these assignments a lot of times. Dog, you're not gonna sneak back there.
I think I think the head is as far as it's going
The
to
head
go.
is as far as it's gonna go.
But
So,
that does mean she's going to be blowing hot air back there. So
okay,
I mean, it's a function of the
I might
flu.
return the favor. You never
That's
know.
fine.
Yeah,
She had it coming.
she had it coming.
It's all right. She knew the risks. You cannot. Dogs and cats are like that, dude. They like to camp out near other people's butts. They know the risks. They know.
Oh, my cats don't. So,
No,
my cats, they will not sit on, next, or near you. So,
they're not cuddlers.
oh hell no, no,
Mm.
not even close. So, like they'll both get on the bed while my wife and I are asleep, but they'll stay down towards the toes. So neither one of them, and
Wow.
they're 7 years old. Neither one of them has ever jumped up on my lap. So
Wow.
yeah, they're that's just not them, man.
It sounds like it's just not going to happen, huh?
I don't think no, I don't think that.
Well,
I mean, if it does, then I think one of them's sick.
right. Well, I mean, to be fair, some animals do have a good way of saying like, "I want someone to take me to the hospital right now."
Right now,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it took me a while to get used to that because all the other cats that I've had were very cuddly, and these are not. They're a little prickly. So, well, that's fine. I mean, they're affectionate in their own way.
Well, that's their thing is they just like being around you, right?
Sometimes they're very independent, so
Yeah.
too. So when they don't want to be messed with and they don't want to be found, they're not going to be found. So,
Right.
and then when they want attention, they'll come to you and you'll get meows. You're expected to dish out scratches. So, but that's it.
What happens if you don't?
Huh?
What happens if you don't?
You get the saltiest look. Yeah. And then eventually they do the rudest thing ever. They just leave. So yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess that's the thing, man. I guess that's sort of the distinction here is um, sometimes people are very quick to categorize things and just don't realize how like distinctly different the personalities of pets are, right?
Yep.
Like it's not just mannerisms where you can look at the book and say, well, the breed is kind of stubborn or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's never made a lick of difference to me.
There are just these distinctive, God, almost human-like qualities that
Yep.
find their ways into.
Animals are not that far removed, especially mammals.
I mean, they're not 100% close, but they get it.
They're pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they get it.
They're pretty close, and once you've dealt with enough of them, you can kind of see that. So
Can you have you ever had a cat that could tell when you were having like a bad day?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mine right now can.
yeah.
Yeah. So
They give you a little extra attention or stay away
they
from you.
stay away from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Oh. No, they'll stay away from you, or they'll go find other ways to entertain themselves. They'll
Yeah.
leave you alone.
You see this year, this turning around, right? The
Hmm.
what she's doing here is essentially you're sleeping back to back.
Okay.
So she absolutely trusts you to be covering her six.
But I'm
and
not a member of the pack, man.
she's covering
Yeah.
yours, right? That is a sign of great respect to her people.
To her people.
To her people,
Right. All dog kind.
right?
Yeah.
In her culture, Patrick, this is how dogs show respect.
Mm. Did you learn that on Caesar Milan?
I don't know where I learned that. I guess I noticed a certain. I started looking into that and sort of researching it because like certain tendencies when it came to sleeping, um, were very similar between her and Elvis. And I was like, that's odd. I was like, I didn't. These are as about different breeds as they can get. So I was like, is there something to this particular behavior? It's like where, and it's the same thing. They'll both start up like this, where it's butt against your back, right?
Hmm.
So it's like I'm protecting this, and then what they'll do is, then they'll put their whole back like to you, or just like side by side, like they're just
Yeah.
like a log right next to you,
Hmm.
and that's just like I feel no discomfort.
No.
I'm not. I don't have to protect anything. Everything's safe, and yeah, both dogs do that, and they. It's not like they taught each other. They certainly they didn't know. So yeah,
Yeah, they didn't cross paths.
no.
So
I guess that's just old wolf behavior. I have no idea.
I have no idea, man.
Pack
So
behavior, at least.
yeah. I don't, like the more that I read about some of that stuff, the less I'm buying into, behavioral psychology and hereditary traits, hereditary behavior.
Yeah, I've had problems with that for a
Yeah.
long time. Yeah,
So
because it doesn't translate to thought.
no, and
No.
it seems like it doesn't check out as often as it does check out. So that's not a good run rate. Yeah.
Now I remember having this discussion years ago um, with someone stupid who
Look at dumbass.
well, I mean, it's unnamed. I won't name this particular dumbass, but I think I've expressed my sentiments about this particular dumbass in the past, and she was making the point of it was about the nature of instincts, which is essentially what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And the whole thing was. It was about well, babies like instinctively start, like suckling, right? I'm like, well, okay, yeah, but think about that for a second.
Hmm.
What else are they going to do? Because
I
here's
don't
the thing:
know.
is right. If they're hungry
They cry.
or they're crying,
Yeah.
right, and they got to do something, they have to eat,
Yeah.
right, and so they're going to basically do whatever it takes
Yep.
to get fucking food out of the food nipple, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so this whole thing is like, well, they instinctively know. It's like I don't think they do. I think it's just like trial and error. It's kind of like,
Possibly.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I certainly think it's bullshit when it comes to people. So,
I
but
think there are
like,
certain tendencies, but
yeah, maybe, but like,
okay,
I
okay,
mean, so much of it is just learned behavior, and the other thing is like with animals, you can kind of see it sometimes, but it's not replicable on a predictable scale. Once you get past very basic things
yeah,
like meowing,
yeah,
or howling at the moon or something, whatever.
right, right.
Okay, fine. And I don't think, most people really understand why things do things like that.
Can't explain it.
Yeah, and do you
They can
really need
theorize.
to? Yeah,
Yeah.
do you really need to be able to explain it? I guess is the question.
Well,
But I've just been seeing a lot of stuff lately that's just like, oh, well, this group tendencies this way, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, that's fucking learned behavior, man. If you grow up there, that's what you learn. And the same thing's true with like dogs. I was watching this guy who's dog trainer the other day with all these like fucking Belgian, whatever they are, those red-eyed dogs. Have you seen them? They look like German shepherds, but they got like brown red eyes.
I don't know, but they sound pretty goddamn
It's called
terrifying.
no, they're actually like tool dog. They're really helpful.
Oh, okay. Well, when you
Yeah.
describe German shepherds with red eyes, I guess I see something different
My
than you do,
leaving.
man. Yeah, it's like Patrick. It sounds like these ones wear helmets.
Yeah, they shoot later.
So okay, there's a version of this where they're actually kind of cute.
Yeah, no,
Okay. All right.
it's a Belgian something.
Okay.
It's like in there with all the German dogs.
Would I know it if I saw it?
You
Okay.
would recognize it. You've probably seen some.
All right.
Um, and anyway, it was just kind of like, well, okay, so some dogs are probably easier to train based upon breed and stuff like that. But they were actually
This is
talking
true.
about
Yeah.
how like breeds are, I mean, it only takes like 3 or 4 generations of breed to actually like train dogs, to actually like kind of be ready for some of that behavioral modification. You think about that, that's like 30 years worth of dogs. That ain't that much.
No, not
Yeah,
particularly.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, this goes all the way back to wolf days. It's like, no, it went back to the 60s when you guys invented this breed, you know?
So okay, so let me put it to you this way, right? Let me frame it in a different way here, right? We have, and this doesn't look. It's something that's happened in our past. There's no good justification for it, but we have engaged with selective breeding within humans.
Within people?
Hmm.
In the past,
We
yeah.
have. Clearly, this is not something that we do now in terms of.
Well, and we've learned not to do that because if all your royals do nothing but hump each other, eventually they're all retarded.
This is sort of what I'm driving at here. So this is sort of like my thing is, um, does that just sort of like is that? It seems like a myth. I mean, it seems like there's a part of it that absolutely is true. So like if you, especially with dogs, right? If you're taking certain attributes, um, I guess the proof of this here is if you see like a genuine carrot in the wild, it is the fucking ugliest thing that you've ever seen in
Oh,
your
they're
life,
gross,
right?
man. Yeah.
Um,
They're all purple and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can take a look at one of those delicious looking things that you see at the
They're not
store,
orange in the wild.
right? And so that is,
They're usually like really stubby.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so
And that's what I'm talking about. Is if you take the one, right, and you're doing that to basically get those traits down.
yeah,
You can do that with dogs, and they can have certain, they will have certain tendencies because their brains are certain like this because you bred them with other people like that. But
dogs.
yes, and that all presumes that they come from like a master batch.
Well, I mean, I guess if you trace it back far enough, sure.
Yeah,
But the other thing that's different between like dogs and people, and so the behavioral psychology thing with people, I think, is a stretch. But with like dogs, hereditary traits and stuff like that, you can observe it. But think about it: if you have a litter of 7 puppies and one of them turns out to be exactly what you're looking for, okay, you've got like what, a 14-month gestation period before you can get a dog out of that dog.
right, right.
So whereas people, it takes at least 12 years, depending on how much and how much diet soda it drinks.
In
So,
India, it was recorded as early as 9.
I believe it. I
Once,
believe it. Yeah,
once,
yeah.
once.
So
And the
yeah,
father was, he was like, "Oh shit, man! I guess I got to get a job."
finally,
He was a child himself.
he was a child himself.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, to do the right thing, man.
Shit happens.
Shit happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shit happens, bro. Um,
But there you go, man. I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like with like seeds. Okay, you're doing it every fucking year, so you're going to be able
it's
to get
true.
your seeds
Yeah.
down real quick. I mean, I've seen people do that, like just with like their fucking houseplants. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Hmm.
so and all of a sudden that's genetically modified organisms or whatever. you know? It's like, no, I just kept the good ones.
That's exactly what you would do. I mean,
Of
this is
course you would
the
do.
thing. It's just by that same logic, it's sort of like, well, okay, well, didn't you sort of put your thumb on the scale when you said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put these bees in here, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I'm trying to encourage some certain things here because I get it. There's a version of things where if you had the fundamentals to say, I want to get out there with how nature's evolution designed things, I could understand that. I would say that's a really dumb thing to waste your
You'd be
time with, but
pretty disappointed with some of the results. So
absolutely, you
yeah,
100% would. And I mean, the same things here where I'll bet you the original blueberries that you could find tasted like shit.
I'm
Like
probably tiny.
they were probably tiny. There was like, if you were to look at it, you say like, I don't know if Pepto Bismol can go rotten, but if it could, it would taste like this. Until you found the one that's like, holy shit, this one was good. What's special about it? Make more of these.
Rancid Pepto.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Like when shit tastes off and it's like
It's
bad medicine, man. It's like fuck, this
yeah.
sucks. Um, no, what about okay? So to go on the behavioral side, right? Is this kind of tying into that sort of like that classic like uh men hunter gatherer conqueror sort of generality that they say goes into that with the with just being a man?
I yeah, I
Is
don't
that the
know.
kind of thing that you don't buy into?
I don't really buy into some of that because I think a lot of it is just grumbling, you know.
Mm.
It just kind of is. I mean, like, all right, a 9 to 5 job working at a bank is not as exciting as like what you see on the TV series Primal. You know, it
Yeah,
involves a
no,
shitload less like gore and
way
blood
less.
and stuff like that. And
Yes.
and fundamentally, some of that stuff is just it's over glorified in our culture as being like manly or whatever. So
Well,
it just I don't know, man. I empathize with people who kind of like. I wish I was born like 200 years earlier. I could have fought Napoleon, or 1,000 years earlier and swung a sword, hit barbarians with it or something. It's like okay, fine, but you can't. So, so get off of it. Or go join the Marine Corps, man.
oh, well, yeah. So that being said, I mean they do have clubs for people that do want to actually sword fight or things
Yeah,
like
go
that.
box or
You can
something. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
there's tons
We
of
do
that
have
stuff.
combat sports to scratch that itch.
But the guys that I've known who really need that, they go do things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine, dude. I mean, I've had friends over the years who had weird fucking hobbies, so
Yeah, I don't really judge on that kind of stuff too much. I mean,
no,
if you, it just all depends on why you do it.
yeah, but don't sit here and try and tell me that life would be way better if people just got back into their old like fucking primordial roles and things like this. Like, no, that would suck.
Okay, so number one, okay, yeah, you're right. You and I have discussed like if you were forced to live in a time, um,
Without penicillin, yeah,
penicillin being one, indoor plumbing being the other, right?
right.
It's so clearly nothing before like 1920 would be the earliest, and even that's a push.
I think I'd wait till after that pandemic. So,
I'm not going to fight you on that. Um,
yeah.
if there's also a component of well, how much money are you teleporting into this place with? Because um, there's definitely a problem that goes in with that here. So there's that component, but the other thing, yeah, when you're talking about the people, it's like oh, we live in these kind of times. Like you know what, you don't know that. You don't.
You don't know what that
No
was
one
like.
knows that.
Yeah.
They have firsthand accountings, but people don't have the comparison of what. So
So nobody actually knows what a sword battle, like two legions fighting each other, what it llooks like.
they
It,
have
it's never been done. They
drawings,
have drawings,
yeah,
mostly on pottery,
and
yeah, and
guidebooks.
guidebooks. Well, even some of those are so old that they're pretty sure that they're made up, by later people, and so nobody's ever seen anything like that. And I mean, and the same thing is like, even if you go back to like just the old West days where you have to have 9 kids and 3 of them are going to live, you know,
That's yeah, yeah.
that's
I
a
know,
thing,
I
man.
know,
And
I
I mean,
know.
so it's one of those. I don't know, man. It is just that some people just can't take yes for an answer on certain things and say, like, you can live a really good life right now. No.
Well, again, this
All
is
right, man. Yeah.
it, again. You're talking about societies where the very simple things that we take for granted. It was like, hell's wrong with you? It's like I have a headache, and the answer is, oh, sorry. I guess that's just how it's going to be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Sorry.
have my
Yeah.
sympathies.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
lay down or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And same other things like what's wrong with your nose? It's like I think it's infected. It's like you got a 50-50 shot of living, buddy.
Yes. Yeah.
What you make peace.
Right.
Whatever
Yeah.
you're mad about
Yeah.
dad with
Yeah.
form, go ahead and
Yeah.
make
Go
peace
go
with him
make
now.
peace just in
Yeah,
case, because that might go
yeah.
septic. You might be dead in 48 hours.
This is the bullshit
Yeah.
about well, and again, like what the things that they do know in terms of certain cultures and it comes to certain fights. You talked about like sword fighting. One of the things that they do know is that um, when it comes to sword fighting, that rarely happened because once they got to that thing, because a dude, nobody knows who it was, but there was a dude who said like, "I want to stab that guy,
Yeah.
but he's way over there."
Yeah.
So he invented this thing that was a stick with something sharp on it. And as soon it's the same thing with guns. You don't really
No.
you can go back to knives,
Yeah.
right? But more often than not, and I mean significantly more often, you're going to do the thing that lets you stab a dude from way over there,
Yeah.
right? So my understanding is that most combat was done with arrows, right?
All kinds of stuff, man. It's
Right?
just dependent on where you were, so, and what era you were in.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, even like we were talking about like what the first people the other day.
Oh.
And you know how hard it is to actually find human remains after
Oh
like
yeah.
5 or 10,000 years, if
Yeah.
that, even that stuff. And a lot of that has to do with how we bury people and stuff like that, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Or things like that. And so you get these couple off ones, but even like the few like really really old examples of people they can find, they get them fucking cut up left and right, dude. I mean, yeah, you get a lot of
Yeah.
non-naturally inflicted bone wounds.
Quite a bit. Men and women.
Men and women.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, man, that sounds awful, dude. Can you imagine, like, I mean, I don't know. So, like, the other thing that I get a little bit upset about, and I've gotten a little bit more upset about this lately, is just when, like people today will point their fingers back at people even like 15 or 20 years ago, let alone 500 years ago. They kind of just like point at them and say, like, oh, those are fucking morons, bro, kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like we're like they were all that stupid about it. But I mean, if you think about it, even like 20,000 years ago, they probably knew how to splint a wound. They probably knew how that, okay, you're gonna have to stay on your back and you're gonna have to drink lots of water in order to like live through this. So very basic stuff. It's not just like, oh my God, what is sitting there rubbing poison berries into it or something,
Look, some
Well,
tribes might have.
but that goes back to that whole like behavioral thing where it's like, okay, so evolution is this never stopping, never ending force, that basically culls the weak everywhere. And I'm like, actually, no.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's bad luck in some respects, but I mean, like fucking people weren't that stupid, man. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Come on.
That's sort of again. This is the major crux of this here is the sheer amount of basically like force and dedication to get here is all the proof that you need because again, if you we have like sort of a tamed version of this here in North America,
Mhm.
right? Um, if you want to open this up 200 years ago, or you want to go out to the fucking frontier of goddamn Australia where no one lives, right? The tools that all creatures have to kill like soft things like us
Yeah.
is unreal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely
Well, and the
unreal.
fact that we've lost all the things that, I mean, even what is it? Chimpanzees are our closest relative. Well, a chimp can do way more pull-ups than any human
Absolutely, yeah.
ever born.
The strength,
You know,
yeah, the strength to size ratio and efficiency is it's astronomical.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, and obviously that's the other thing that I don't get. I don't know. I've been watching people go round and round this on Twitter
What's
lately, but
this?
is this whole idea of like, all right, so if this is so true, why don't things continue to evolve? In certain ways, it's like crocodiles are basically the same as they were 200 million years ago. What's the deal with that? So,
Well, the theory is once they find a perfect niche, you don't have to change.
but it's obviously not a perfect niche because we've obviously seen many more different iterations of evolution since then that have shown that you can go even further than that. Anyway, I got going down this because someone was making the argument that when the dinosaurs got wiped out 65 million years ago, they were about as good as they were ever going to get. So at that point in time, and I was like, really? I mean, when they get smarter, or something, like not just open doors smarter, but build hover cars
Mm.
someday smarter. I don't know, man.
Okay, so the theory here. Okay, so the problem here is that both people can be right and both people can be wrong at the same
Yeah,
time. Because so if I mean the whole theory behind this is that once your mutation, basically, once the mutation is the
hmm,
one that has an adaptable trait that makes it able to survive when the others can't, is when you see branches or shifts like that,
yeah,
right? And that can happen where, like, if hey, if you're on a big continent and like you all came from like someplace in the middle, right? Some of you went west, some of you went east, right?
yeah,
You're going to face different challenges, and so there's going to be like a similar
yeah.
progenitor, but there's going to be changes based off of the environment. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we can look at. I don't know if there's a master snake out there. I have no idea. Right? I wouldn't.
A master snake. I like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, whoever he is. I mean, if this is what, let's go to the Bible. I have no idea. Right? Um, but the variation that you see in snakes is kind of like when you look at it and say, okay, I see how you survived in these different environments, and that makes perfect sense
Yeah.
to me. Now, if you're asking like, why hasn't there been show me the new snake that works that's like that has like urban camo or like fucking
Right. Yeah.
like
It's got digital patterns on it. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
because you're like, okay, well theoretically the one
It's called like a Slurpee straw.
so theoretically, the one of you that fits in with this area should be the one that survives. But that's the problem here is
Yeah.
that also means that it's supposed to be in this environment where it's thriving,
Hmm.
right? And maybe it just doesn't thrive here. Maybe it doesn't thrive over here in my backyard of the street, right?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, man. It was one of many things lately that I've just been kind of questioning my own, like letting that be settled thing. So, lately. And that was one where, like,
Yeah,
when they made that
yeah.
point about the dinosaurs, I was kind of like, huh, I haven't thought about that in a long time, man. Maybe it's time to revisit. Because there was this thing, so I'm doing all this stuff with some of my colleagues and
Yeah, yeah.
things. All right. And they were talking, not my direct colleagues, but some of these other guys when I went to this conference the other day. We're really banging on about climate change. And
Oh
I'm
boy.
like, okay. And I didn't want to say anything because there's some
Yeah.
dudes, and it's just not worth the fight, kind of thing. But, it's just like, all right. So I remember reading the IPCC stuff back in the 90s as part of my undergrad stuff. And oh my God, it's all bad and blah, blah, blah. And then I
We're done
remember
for.
actually
Yeah.
showing
Yeah.
fucking Al Gore stuff in my classes years ago
Yeah.
where Florida was supposed to be gonzo by now. I mean, not even a little bit gonzo, but like Miami was supposed to be, like a dive park.
Oh yeah, I
So,
know.
yeah.
It's fucking.
And it's just like, all right, so obviously we were wrong about that. Okay, that's fine. And some people will admit it, and some people won't. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's cool. But then there's a lot of other things. And we've been talking lately about how psychology is basically imploding as a field. Not maybe not so much clinical psychology because there's definitely a lot of evidence to show that things like therapy or cognitive behavioral training
Yeah.
and stuff like that really do help. Okay, but the actual theory behind it, it's not so good anymore, man.
Well, all right. There's a. You're right. So there's two components to here what you're talking about. So yeah, psychology is falling apart for exactly the reasons that you discussed here. There's also a lot of it that comes down to okay, so who are you pulling this from?
Exactly.
There's been a
Yeah.
lot of things about questioning the sources of these things that are considered to either be like the basis of the truth or what you're building on,
Right.
right? So I mean this ties into a lot of like the current like political things here is
Yeah.
um, the the data that people were using and the theories that people were using to talk about basically gender identity and that kind of thing here, right? You know as well as I do that all started. The stem of that is fucked. It is
Like
like
gender theory.
right. The people who did the primary research on this and started putting those theories together.
It's been a while since I've looked into that.
It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. None of that
You're not talking
washes.
about critical theory, are you?
It eventually gets there because other people pick up that football and run with it.
Well,
Like
yeah, I know a little bit more about
I
that.
know you do that. That's
Yeah,
that's a little bit more area. But the dude that people used to cite on this all the time is completely full of shit. And the
Was it Foucault? Yeah.
I think
Well, he's the power differential guy. That was his whole thing.
you're right. I'd have to look at some bookmarks.
It's
It's
right. It's
right.
not worth your time, dude.
I know it's not, but
So yeah, and I can tell you right off the bat that those studies are going to live in some very select colleges in 25
you're
years.
100% right. And
Yeah.
to further that point here, I mean, we're like the last country of this that actually supports those kind of in any capacity that kind of conversion stuff because
Conversion stuff.
yeah because places well for children. Let me put it to you that way.
What is conversion theory
Well,
or therapy? So
therapy
I saw that was trending the other day. I've heard that term before. I don't know what the fuck it is.
that's okay. So that's a mixed term. So conversion therapy is something else.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Conversion therapy is basically that's the 2000s thing where if you have a child that's showing like gay tendencies, you send them to this place in
Oh,
the
is that the gay camp thing?
that's
Oh, okay.
that's conversion therapy. But this the
Right. They sent Butters to one. Okay, I remember that. Yeah,
yep.
all right.
um the part that we're talking about here when it comes to basically like youth transitioning is the other component.
Oh, sexual.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
hormone therapy, that kind of stuff. Because again, it was the
okay. So that's what you mean by conversion therapy. Got it.
right.
Yeah, okay.
That's the
Dude,
incorrect
that
term.
is so fucking cooked. So, I mean, not only is it, how many states is it illegal in now?
Um,
A few.
well, okay, so if it's anything less than 50, then it's a problem.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the dam is breaking on
Yeah.
that. So, yeah. Um, yeah, and specifically, like, there was something going on here in Colorado about that not too long ago. What the fuck
Yeah,
was
I
it?
think it had to do with some of our school districts too.
So, like, all three of our major school districts here in town have banned any kind of, like, transgender athletes participating in women's sports.
Yes.
So, and that's
Here.
well, that's fine. Those are the ones that concern me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say like if you go like 60 miles north, they have different
Denver's its own thing, man. Whatever.
fuck them.
So, yeah, and I mean, them and their unified school district.
Yeah, I know. How's PS 102 doing up there?
PS royalty. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, also known as Aurora Hood General. Yeah. Um. Yeah. No. I don't. I don't see that actually going anywhere,
As far well,
man.
again,
Yeah.
this is sort of it's a blight on human history. Like this is the argument that they used to use at the time was, and I cannot believe that people used to say this, it was completely reversible, had no impact. You could basically start taking female hormones
Yeah.
at age 7, and you could stop anytime, and it wouldn't, make any change.
No, of
Like
course that was all wrong.
that's a fucking lie.
Yeah, that was all wrong.
Because
Um,
these are the things distinctly called puberty blockers. So
yeah,
again, this is
it's not like it plays catch up afterwards. I get that, man. I don't think I'd be very surprised if the amount of people who are going to engage in that behavior is going to increase over the next couple of years. I would be shocked, actually.
only within the circles that it's popular in already.
Well, then okay,
But those people will die.
yeah, I mean, or they'll have years and years of I don't know. I just hate to see people live through that much regret. Um,
I do too.
yeah,
Um,
I don't like to see that.
but this gets down to the crux of that psychology question that you had right there, right?
Yeah,
Is that's where sort of that absolute divide comes in because when you look at events like this and you say, all right, so if you had, and again I hate to use this example, but I'm going to do it again, is if you had a person that was looking at themselves and they were absolutely convinced, they said like I am too fat, right?
yeah,
You would never, ever, ever, ever prescribe. It's like, well, if you're too fat and you think you look too fat and the wrong person in the mirror, you should stop eating.
yeah.
You would never, ever, ever do that. But on the other hand, if you say a person
Oh, you
like,
mean like absolutely starve
you would
yourself?
never prescribe that as
No, you
treatment,
wouldn't do that. Yeah,
100%. But you, in the same thing, you have somebody that says, well, I see a woman here, right?
yeah,
But the objective reality is No, you
No,
don't.
yeah, yeah,
And the whole thing about basically confirming this,
yeah.
right? You say, is this therapy? Is this actually treating the illness?
See, and I'm
No.
curious how much of the psych field is actually on board with that. I mean, I haven't seen any data on like how many times does someone have to like try and actually go through some kind of transition. I mean, I know we see the stories where it's like, well, it just takes one yes kind of thing, and
Right.
but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, if I were to actually like take my daughter to somebody and they were to say, "Oh, this is what you need to do," I would probably take them to somebody else, you know. And then at that point in time, I mean, you know, it's not like it's just it. I don't see the entire field of psychology is shouting unanimously and full throatedly yes at this. Okay, there's vociferous parts of it, but that's not the legion of clinical practitioners out there. I mean, those are some like very, very vocal activists out there.
Yeah, but that's the thing is if this is something that if people do support it, so in the same way that a lot of doctors knew, they're like, I'm not going to prescribe you opiates, right?
Well, and a lot of them didn't. Yeah,
But some of them did,
yeah, I
right?
know, but you can't get everybody to march in the same direction. I get that.
Well, that's sort of
Yeah.
it. Is you basically had your Doctor Nicks of
Yeah, blood.
yeah, it's well because these are the same people that also know this is one of the documentation that came out of here's how you bill it because insurance won't cover this. Here's how you bill
Yeah,
it under these different.
yeah, I've seen some of the shenanigans that went on with that. You know, I mean, it was kind of interesting. I actually went and looked at my plan to see if it actually covered any of those therapies, and it doesn't. So,
Yeah,
so is this a rich person disease?
I think it's an any person disease.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing: is all right. So
I mean, is it specifically like a first world problem kind of thing? I guess that's what I mean by
well, okay. So this stuff
that.
also when people this is the fascinating part, Patrick, is when one of the things that people will cite, and they'll say that transgender people are constantly seeing violence and that kind of stuff here.
That's
It's
not
like,
true. We know
well,
that.
it is in certain places.
Not here.
Exactly. When they
Yeah.
count world statistics,
No, it's that's true if you live in a country where they're known to fling gay people off the top of buildings.
there and other
Right.
places, say like in the uh, Latin American or South American region. So a lot of these happen in Brazil, right?
Well, yeah, you don't transition down there; you just become a gay boy. So
And if you take that next,
yeah,
well, and again, even to that end, it's still the majority of people that are hurt or murdered in this case, it's by their partner,
oh yeah, I believe that.
right? So when you do that domestically and you say in the United States, no, you're actually,
Yeah, you have to
virtually
pull all the
like,
domestic violence out of there.
yeah,
You know? So
yeah,
that's a skewed statistic. You know.
it 100% is,
Yeah, unless you're counting domestic violence. So
which is sort of a tough thing. And people have struggled with this immemorial. I mean, this is the thing. So I read a report. This was five
if
years
you
ago.
control for partner relationships within like interracial marriages or relationships, almost all of that interracial crime disappears. So
Pat, I don't know. Oh,
it's
brother.
not a real thing, man.
Okay, man. So here's some data that I looked at that is I don't know how to process this, man. Um, so there's always this talk about how the United States uh, academically tests against the rest of the world. Now you
That is
know,
such bullshit. But
okay.
yes, okay.
Now what's the information that you know that makes it bullshit?
We test all the kids. There you go.
Okay,
We test them all because we had that law that
okay,
that guy who he thought of that before them planes hit them buildings, Jeff.
right, right, yeah.
Yet we still live with it.
We still live with it. People have had numerous chances to change that, and they have elected not to. So they must think that shit is just the tits. But okay,
To be fair, actually testing all the kids is really good. So, but whatever,
I agree with you.
it is good.
Okay, so here's here's some data here that sort of shocked me, right? So what they did was they took the test results and they compared like for like. Okay,
All of a sudden, Americans look really fucking smart, don't they?
American Asians outperformed
Everybody,
Asian Asians.
they were real Asians. Yes.
American whites outperformed
Outperform European
the
whites.
world
Yeah, the
whites.
world whites. Yeah, they
All of them.
everybody. And American blacks are the smartest fucking black people on the face of the planet.
That is correct. The
So
old,
yeah.
you basically, put the whole thing together,
Hmm.
put the denominator there at the bottom.
Hmm.
They sit there and say like, "Wow, you guys are dumb compared to the rest of the world." It's like,
No. And see, this is I
here's a
fight this
problem.
fight all the time with
Yeah.
people who say our public education system is fucked. It is not. It is fine. So it does a great job. You know,
Well, it's
it's got
incredibly adaptable.
it's incredibly adaptable. It's staffed with millions of people who love what they do. Okay, which I can say that about teaching more so than any other industry on the fucking
There
planet.
you go. We have someone. I'd like to formally declare you as part of the court as a subject matter expert right now.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely qualify you to testify.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely chock full of people who love what they do. It'll be fine. So, like it look you can make it look ugly if you choose to make it look ugly.
That is correct.
Okay, but if you actually just take a look at very simple like for like data, so if you take an average fucking middle class Midwestern, 16-year-old boy and 16-year-old girl and match them up against the same thing in Germany or South Africa or Japan
Yep.
or Saudi Arabia or India or anything like that,
Yep.
the Americans are very, very, very good.
It's your ass. As a matter of fact,
Very, very, very good.
so even not just the American Asians versus Asians, American whites
Yeah,
outperformed South Korea,
that's interesting.
and they're way the fuck up there.
Well, I mean, so this is what we were talking about. Like you were talking about this with AI a long time ago. Okay, getting that last 95% is a real fucking lift.
Yeah.
And like almost all these countries are there. And so when everybody says that we're, basically like retards still stuck in 1960s America, they're wrong about that. I mean, but the thing is when we actually do the test, the book says you have to give it to everybody, and so we do.
Right.
They don't do that in China. They don't do that in a lot of places, even places that are kind of straight up. So, like the German system, you get split into two different groups. By the time you get
Yes.
into high school, you're going to either college prep or like a technical
Vocational,
trade,
yeah.
vocational
Sport,
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they don't test those schools at the same rate.
No.
Okay, and so you get some super genius, like 10th graders in Germany who, they probably outperform the average American, but you're only testing that portion of the population against
Correct.
our entire fucking thing.
Right.
And our entire fucking thing has guys who are at like science Olympiad, and then the other kids who are, like turning wrenches in the auto shop, and other kids who are throwing spit wads at each other in fucking study hall. So they're all in the same group, man.
Right. Right.
You tried to do it, didn't you? This dog totally tried to sneak in.
I wonder. She tried to play it off.
Man.
Like
I know. She was like, oh, this is stretching a little bit.
I think you're slick. I know what you're up to.
I got fucking cats.
Yeah.
But and so I did see some of that stuff, but that's some of the easiest stuff to dismiss. And I'll go out there and I'll throw elbows on some of that stuff sometimes if I see it. So,
well, so this is
because it's absolute garbage, and it's just America bad bait, and there's a shitload of that going on right now.
It's easy to do.
Of course, it's always easy to do, man, because we do all our laundry in public. So
That's correct. People have
we do it right in the middle of fountain.
idea. People have no idea how transparent this country is.
It's ridiculous
to every other country on the planet.
Compared to every other one, yes, absolutely. But it's just I don't know, man. Today was a fun day, actually. So, I was just enjoying the crickets that were coming from Twitter this evening. So after that shit got announced, we didn't get a chance to talk about that. But as soon as I heard that announced, I was like, oh shit, I got to get on there and see who's saying what. And then I've got all these dudes that I bird dog on the far left and the far right. Crickets, man.
Not a word. Well,
it's like, oh, I'm watching the Yankee game tonight. I was like, the fuck you are, man.
Well,
It's like, oh, I settled in when this happened. Or
yeah,
they start turning. It's like, well, Civil War coming to Portland. It's like, you were talking about something else like 4 hours ago, weren't you?
we're just going off the plane. What
Just got off
happened?
the plane. What happened?
No, you're not right. Well, so that's the thing is when this happens, you can't expect an immediate answer because Democrat scientists have to go into the they have to go back into the Folgers testing facility to basically find a way to take what this is
Mm-hmm.
and give credit to Jimmy Carter for this for
Yeah,
something that he did.
right. They have to go machine it.
Now, they have to see and see something, but they don't
Right,
know what pattern to put in
right.
yet,
Yeah, exactly.
or who to give credit to
It's
for
going to be
this.
Jimmy Carter. So
Right,
it'll be Jimmy Carter or Bill Clinton or Yasser Arafat or something.
right.
Yeah, but it will not be Donald J. Trump, and it will definitely not be Benjamin Netanyahu.
No,
No.
I'll tell you, I don't know if he actually deserves any. Um, he was just there,
Well, he said yes,
right?
so that
Right.
works. So no, I'll give him credit for that, man. I mean, you have to take yes for an answer. So and if he's going to take yes for an answer, good, take it.
Well,
So,
I'll put it to you this way. Okay, this is the other component of this here is, do you know, so that fucking shithole known as Blue Sky was around a little bit before, like a year before ahead of time. People were begging for invites and stuff, right? Um, do you know when the actual exodus of people left Twitter to go there?
oh, I was probably there for that, but the incident.
Right. It's day
Hmm.
after something specific happens, and they don't want to catch shit for it.
When they let Donald Trump back on the platform, or no?
Oh no! You're on the right
Was it
tack.
after Elon Musk bought it?
Oh no, they stuck around for there.
You're right. They
Right.
were. Yeah. Okay. So there's got to be something else in there.
It was.
Give me a hint. Just a little hint.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Because I was there for that.
You probably
I was
were.
there for that.
Well, it's not the easiest way. The best hint I can give is when you place your bet and you lose.
Was it well after the election?
Day after the election.
This last one, last fall.
Yes.
I thought it was before then. Okay.
It was the day after the
Yeah, that's
election
fine. I believe that.
because that was when everybody was going to catch shit, right?
Oh yeah. Because the USS Harris went down in flames.
That is correct. You can run your mouth all you want, right? But whatever you say, when people turn around and
Oh,
say,
so there's going to be a lot more people fleeing the blue sky tomorrow in there. I wonder if they're doing it right now.
"Well, Patrick, that place is also falling apart."
Yeah, that's what you keep telling me.
Well, did
I'm not going to go over there and visit it. I know what a Discord server looks like when I see one.
okay? I have to tell you about the waffles incident.
Waffles.
Waffles. Okay, this is where the newest like rush of people have been begging. Like, where do we go next?
Russia
Right?
people? What are Russia
No,
people?
the rush of people.
Rush
Of people.
of
I'm
people.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen this. There's an old tweet that goes around. It gets quoted every now and then, where it's like, "This is how people on platforms basically ruin discourse with an innocuous statement." Is a person will come in there and say, they'll send a tweet of, "Man, I really like waffles," right?
Okay.
And then the response is, "Oh, so you hate pancakes?"
Okay.
Okay. Now this has been past. It's like around like 2017 that came up, but every now and then people will
Yeah, I
quote
got
that
it. Yeah.
when people start making that argument. So over there on Blue Sky, they have this person who is on the left, but I guess has said some kind of they've made some transgression, and people have been calling for this person to get banned like
Is
crazy.
it Ezra Klein?
No, it's
Oh,
Jesse Signal or something like
I
that.
know who Jesse Signal is.
Okay. Um, so they've been calling for this person to get banned and saying like every day that you don't ban this person, you're spreading whatever, right? So
Day number 17 of spreading hate.
that's correct. Yeah, it's day number 17 of Nazi occupation.
Yeah.
Fucking
Since the night of the long knives.
yeah, the resistance and I have been gathering bread. Um, so the CEO was actually out there basically
Isn't
addressing.
that Jack Dorsey?
No. Dorsey split. Dorsey split as soon as the people. He's like, I know what this is coming. This
Oh
is
yeah,
turning into.
okay. This has happened
Yeah.
before.
He disappeared. It's actually that woman. I can't remember her name, but she was basically addressing this and saying like, um, this place is just like it's become incredibly polarized, right? And this is this this place says we have to do something to actually mend this, and so somebody jumped in there and they said like, but what about like, but you still haven't banned Jesse
Jesse
Signal,
Signal. Yeah.
and her one word response was waffles, because
Oh yeah.
it's
Okay.
going to
Got it.
that
Yeah.
exact same thing of like, by saying that you like this, you must hate this.
Right. Right. Right.
And the one word
This is part of internet culture, though, man.
it is, but
Yeah.
as soon as this chick posted the word waffles, that place went fucking berserk in terms of like, you don't know us. We're the people that built your platform. You've turned your backs on us here, right? And this is the problem,
I
Patrick. When
wonder
you
wonder which retards are leading that charge. So is Sean Penn one? He's probably one of them. So
he doesn't lead the charge, he'll see where people are
you're right.
going.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's in the second wave. Yeah,
Dude, even Stephen King
he's back on Twitter.
is back on Twitter, and that's the thing.
It's funny they're all going to use it as an excuse to go back on the Twitter. As soon as the Gaza thing is inked in, then we can talk about other things
Right,
because we're not going to show
right.
up for our comeuppance.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little
No.
bit. See, this is going to be so much fun to watch the next couple days. If I don't see programs on Jews from certain content creators over the next week, or so, I'm going to fucking know who exactly is mercenary out there and who ain't.
Yeah. Who the true
Who
believers
the
are.
true believers are. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
If I don't get like new evidence in the next 4 or 5 days about how like the Jews actually got fucking Charlie Kirk whacked, then
You've been hearing that shit too.
dude, it's fucking bullshit. It's so funny.
Like, y'all just don't believe in coincidences,
Dude,
do
that's one
you?
of those things where you have to take one of those red pieces of yarn. And you go out one door and you wrap it around the entire fucking building to come in through the other side of the door frame.
The fucking
They're
family
like the
circle.
section,
Yeah.
man.
Fucking circuitous route.
Yeah. It's like, see, I told you it was the Jews.
You say that because it's always them.
It's
to
always
you.
them.
Right,
Yeah, it's
right.
always them.
I get it. At least you're consistent, because whether it's Charlie Kirk or you're like, there's not enough marshmallows in my Lucky Charms this morning, it's always the
Yeah.
same people who are to blame.
No. Here's my theory on this, and it's kind of a dark theory. Is that the reason why you've seen a whole bunch of people blaming the Jews lately for certain things is because it absolutely positively drives traffic.
Sure,
So
I can
they've
see
been
it.
looking for ways, you have some content creators out there who aren't in the position that they used to be.
You don't say.
You don't say, yeah.
You don't say.
And necessarily got shunned by other forms of media.
People that really used to like the authority they once carried
Yes.
and have none.
And have absolutely zero. We're not
Yeah.
given positions in the administration. In fact, put at arm's distance from the entire thing. And yeah, it's kind of like, all right, so how do I drive traffic? Is like, well, if I do something about this, holy shit, look at the spike in my fucking content engagement. Realizing that about 80% of it is fucking Russian slash, Indian slash fucking Iranian slash, Egyptian bots out there.
Whatever it is, it's not American. Let me.
It's not local,
yeah,
man. Yeah. So, I mean, you've seen those things a couple of weeks ago, the Chinese content farms, how they, basically have thousands of phones running on a
It's
rack.
terrifying.
It's clever. If you think about it, it's like, okay, so every one of those got its own individual SIM card, blah, blah, blah. Got it. Okay, so this is a way to get around that. But, I mean, you can get on Twitter, you can get on YouTube comments, and you can tell who's a fucking bot real fast. So it's like, wait a minute, you joined a week ago?
Okay, yeah.
And you got 950 posts in a single day? Wow, you're pretty dedicated, bro.
You say the same thing a lot.
You
man.
say it a lot,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I get it, and there is something to be said about I hate to go a RoboCop on you, but good business is where you find it.
That's true.
If you see a niche in the market that needs filling, fill it.
Yeah.
All right. As far as your method, though, when it comes down to, I don't know where you stand, Patrick, on certain things where you say like, yeah, but you've taken a system that was not meant for this, you've ruined it,
Mm.
right?
But like YouTube,
Well, yeah, well, is YouTube ruined? I don't know.
I don't think it's
It's
ruined.
hard for me to say. Obviously, I still take a lot of content from it, and
I take a lot of content from
yeah,
YouTube.
if you know what you like, or you're open to seeing different things, like again, like the other day when I'm watching that guy, it's not just one guy. There are a couple of dudes like, no, this is just that single like shot 50 cal like hand thing like this. I'm
Mhm.
like, that's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's not something like I can't turn on the regular TV and do that, right?
Yeah.
So all that niche content, which turns out, and then what's funny is you look at that, it's like this seems like niche content. This has 60 million views.
That's crazy, man.
This should be a regular TV program.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like, how much of that is? I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Right.
any kind of thing that on YouTube that shows up as popular, I take it kind of for granted. I mean, kind of with a giant grain of salt because sometimes, yeah, there's been a lot of guys that, especially the bigger YouTube, there's enough money in it where fuckery is expected. Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And to be fair, pretty much all the things that they've tried to take from the internet and put into a TV format has not worked
Doesn't work the same,
at
man.
all.
Yeah. No, there's kind of a little bit of a breakwater between the two still, between TV and the internet. I was watching actual TV today for a bit, and it's just it's not only it's got a different feel to it, the pacing on it is different.
Yes.
It's like what's on is on, kind of thing. And so I don't feel as obligated to I don't manage my engagement with it as much. I think
Agreed.
that's probably the
Yeah.
difference there more so than anything else. Where if like Twitter is me, like absolutely flying the machine and doing all the dials and buttons and stuff, going exactly where I want to go. All right, YouTube's kind of like all right, hitting the autopilot in that. And
Right.
fucking,
Right.
TV is like I'm not even flying this fucker. I'm riding in the back.
Yeah. TV is straight up robo taxi. That is
That's exactly what it
what's
is.
your destination, sir? And how you get there doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter. No, and I mean, so all three of them have a very different feel to it. So yeah, like social media would be the most you're paying the most attention to it.
Right.
And
Well,
I don't engage with social media that much other than the occasional doom scrolling on Twitter, and then
right.
of course I do a lot on LinkedIn.
Look, it's a great place to actually get news.
It's a good place to get news, but the one thing that it's taught me though is you have to sit on your hands a little bit after you get news.
I agree. Well,
Yeah,
it's the raw information hole.
it is the feed. It is
Yeah.
the live feed of what's going on in the world. You do. I mean, Telegram's up there too, but
The Telegram is also full of crap.
well, Twitter is full of crap.
It is also full of
Yeah.
crap. But
Telegram is 95% crap. Yeah, unless you follow a few specific guys who know what they're doing. So but yeah, other than that, it's basically crap, and it's like it's worse than Twitter because it's not even cheerleading
no.
that's going on. It's almost like full on football hooliganism. You know.
Well, you're not wrong. It's they do have a TOS.
Nobody pays attention to that.
Right. Whereas you do have, I mean, Twitter does have, for being as open as they are, and for having the fights that they've had in terms of like, we don't want to block people, we're going to keep fucking with the algorithm. The whole thing is based off of, if we're never going to shut you off in that regard, we want you to, we'll restrict like certain things. If you keep saying this word, then your tags may get deplatformed or whatever. But we're not going to ban you. It's not like that unless you really cross that line. So I mean, they do have a little bit of tard wrangling, but not that much.
No, I mean, and most of that is just like
Telegram, I don't think has any.
Telegram is the Wild West.
Yes.
So you don't do Twitter for me got a lot better once I found all the filters on that thing.
Yes.
And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's not 50% porn. This is way better.
That is
And then it
correct.
was like, oh my God, it's not 50%, like Clerk shoots robber videos. Thank you.
Unless you want it.
I
But yes,
don't want that. I see enough people die on Telegram, man. So, if
We
I'm
can
in the
watch
mood for
different.
that, I know
Yeah,
where
it's
I
fine.
go. I can tell you all about the horrifying stuff I've seen coming from Ukraine the last 3 days, but we did that last episode. So,
Right.
but and that's the one thing, you just don't get that much stuff from Gaza. So you can find some. So, but
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
not
Yeah.
easy to find
Yeah.
it, man, and a lot of it is bullshit too. Because they'll say, even it's like some of the stuff from Twitter, because I was following a couple guys on that for a little bit until they kept getting community voted down. And they're like, actually, this is in fucking Sudan, and stuff. It's like, oh,
Right.
liar. Yeah, or they say, oh, here's Israel flattening this building. They said they did this in 2007. It was like, fuck, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. That'll be interesting to see if they actually get some reporters in there. Because, I mean, I've looked at it online and stuff. These are the satellite maps you can pull up and whatnot that are updated a little bit more frequently, like Google Earth or Maps.
Yeah.
There's parts of it that are fucking wrecked. So, not all of it, though. Quite a bit of it is just fine. So, I was kind of surprised. So, we'll have to see.
Well, I think you and I have been on the same page for quite a while. Is look, if you want to start fresh, let's start fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is brand. You are lucky. This is brand new. What we're gonna do here. Okay, so all right, take all this crap here, make it flat.
Yep, push it in the sea.
Okay, flatten it out.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
We're going to make a port.
we're gonna make it a little island over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
make a little
yeah.
island.
Let's
Call it Rebel Island.
yeah, it's Alexander the Great did this.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
there's this thing out here,
Yeah.
threw rocks into the water until it was a peninsula, right? So here you go. You have Palestine Garbage Peninsula. It's fine. It's just enjoy. You're gonna you're gonna build expensive houses on it someday.
Right.
But it's gonna be a lot of like broken glass and fucking like
Yeah, right.
Well, once the Earth grows over it,
Right.
it'll be beautiful. It'll look like Lord of the Rings. So we're gonna do this flat, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig this all up and like, all right, forget like telephone poles and shit. Everything's going underground.
Yep.
We're gonna redo your pipes.
Yep.
Right. We're gonna go ahead and plant things out. You're gonna have like so. This is welcome to
walkable cities.
new Yes, so it's walkable
bike lanes.
Bike lanes. This is congratulations. Welcome to the HOA. Right. It's you're gonna go ahead and make this.
Yep. Light
pristine.
rail stop every 3 blocks. Yep.
Right. No, it's we're taking all broken window theory out of this.
Right.
Like we're gonna start fresh.
Yep.
Now, if you fuck it up, this is the thing, man, Peter. This is the attitude that I'm starting to take toward places like Chicago and Portland and things like this, right? Where if mom asks you to clean your room
and you don't clean it
like 3 times,
yeah,
what happens is mom cleans your room. And you may not like the way that mom cleans your room. Right?
Yep.
But she's going to give you chances. And this is the same thing.
Might actually throw out your fucking clay dinosaurs and stuff.
Well, your clay dinosaurs, she's going to find like Playboys and stuff. She's like, all right, these got to go.
Right. Yeah.
It's like my boy sickens me.
Right, all those Metallica CDs.
Oh, yeah. It's just like this is devil shit. It's like
devil shit.
Fucking, if you come in there, it's like he actually carved a pentagram into this desk. This isn't his desk. This is my desk.
My desk, yeah.
Right?
So you got to take it out into the garage and sand it down. Though.
That's correct. Yeah. So when mom cleans your room, you're not going to like it.
No.
But it's going to be clean.
It's going to be clean.
And the same thing goes for Palestine.
Yeah. I don't know about that, man. I don't really think that we're actually going to have that much to do with it, to tell you the truth.
I can only hope not.
I don't think we will. So if you actually read through some of what they're proposing there, man, it's basically like the guys who are basically like, fuck it, we're done with this, is all the Arab states out there who are like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, all right, so, we get it. You don't like the neighbors, but they ain't moving.
Right.
And we figured that out in 1973.
Uh-huh.
Except for that guy over there who just lost his nuclear program. But he
Convincing
lives
me.
across the street, man, so you don't really have to worry about it. And those guys have actually mellowed out too, man. I saw this the other day that they actually they lifted all the restriction on women's clothing there
Where?
in Iran. So they had like a soft ban for like the last like ever since they had those big riots like a year ago.
Well,
And
yeah.
so they did this thing where it's like, okay, so we still have all these dress codes, but we're not going to enforce them. And so it was just the other day they said, you know what, fuck it, we're not even going to do that anymore.
Well,
It's off the books.
that's the thing is there were hella protests and riots about
A
that
lot.
because that woman
Yeah.
was killed for it.
Yeah, but that was like 2 years ago. And
So it
so
doesn't mean that they weren't still
no,
mad.
I know, but so ever since their little drubbing like 4 months ago, and then they had some riots going on there after that because everybody's like, oh, maybe this is it, but it wasn't. But they've been easing off, so
Well, to their
that's interesting. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, whatever.
that's
I just
great.
thought it was interesting.
What's great?
So
This is
well, I mean, it's great, but if that means that regime has more legs on it, then I don't know about that. But
listen. All right,
whatever.
you and I both know this, man. Like, so if you go to the history of rebellions and
Hmm.
overthrows and that kind of stuff,
Hmm.
right? The numbers aren't good. The numbers aren't good of
The K to D ratio is really bad.
awful,
Yeah, it's
awful,
pretty bad.
right? Most of the time, I mean, you're talking about a lot of places where is it better than what you got? A lot of times, then, right?
Right.
And then it comes down to it's like, well, then who takes over next? It's like a lot of times it's a
Mm.
dude in a green uniform, and you know,
Very simply dressed.
correct. It's like so
Absolutely murderous.
correct. It's like so. By what right do you have this? Like, well, we have all the 7.62, and you
Right.
don't,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just how it goes. And when it comes down to like successful revolutions, there's ours,
Yeah.
but not a ton of other ones, right?
No.
All right. So a lot of times, what's good for a country, right, even though it's not what people want in terms of like I want it all right now, is reforms over time.
Yeah.
And if Iran is one of those places where, and fuck it, I don't like the things that they put them through, but if this is the kind of stuff that gets them to relax this shit, right,
That's better.
then
Yeah.
that's more stable. That's more likely to work, right?
Yeah.
Because if we have this problem, this America's beautiful in the sense where people always forget about like those first 10 years.
They were pretty awful.
They're like, this thing won't work.
States
we-
almost fought each other
Do you blame them?
over whiskey.
If don't get me
We're
wrong,
not talking slaves here. We're talking hooch.
we'll deal with that later.
We'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
These were both non-slave holding states. Yeah.
Well, and if I recall, that was the time that they could actually mint their own money.
Which was part of the problem.
That's a huge problem.
That was part
right?
of the problem.
If you are like,
I want some trade some Pennsylvania kajiggers for for Ohio Hoosiers.
I hear Ohio Hoosiers aren't doing so well. Here.
They're down right now.
I would say that the exchange rate is, I would say it's at least 9-1.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If you don't like it, go back to Ohio.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like this won't last another like 5 years.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
And the British were threatening to come back, and that's
Right.
and that's when they did their little party in Philadelphia and wrote that thing. So
Yeah.
No, I mean, I get you with Iran. I mean, it was just interesting to see that. We'll see. Like, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of having a Gaza corporation.
I don't have a problem.
So we'll see what they do, man. Because like there was a video that I watched a while ago, and it was this Arab guy, like some sheik in Saudi Arabia or something like that. Fully modern guy, decked out with the watches and the gold grill and all that, but the traditional,
the Hassan chop. Yeah, I get
the
it.
Hassan chop
Yeah.
thing, and he's doing this thing in England where people are like scolding him, about like, how they treat, certain people in his country and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. And he just flipped it right on everybody in this audience. He's like, My people have been dealing with radical idiots for hundreds of years. You're letting them all in your country, and I'm going to tell you right now that when it comes down to it, there are certain things that work with these people, and there are certain things that don't. And I know the things that work because I've lived it my entire life. You've been mad about it for 5 years, so, at best. And so don't go telling me, all right, that I actually treat people poorly when you just let them run wild in your country. Kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's like this will not work out for you. It's like, why do you think they come here? They come here because we don't let them get away with that there.
You, oh boy, you are saying like in certain parts of
He
this
said it
project
in perfect
that
English,
this
which was
is the
hilarious.
most controversial thing that you could possibly say
Yeah, and this
to
is
be
like two
like, I
years
got
old.
no, I
Yeah,
know,
or like
I know.
last year because they were banging on him about like not supporting Gaza. So, and I mean, he was just laying it out there. He's like, you do not understand that some of these people are just radical morons. So, and they don't know anything else, you know, and they
Right,
don't want to learn anything
right.
new. So, but they're finding homes all across Europe and including here because he was speaking in London. So
He's correct.
it was, yeah, no, it was fascinating, and the crowd kind of, yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah, there is a like, why is it so fucking quiet in here?
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We just got scolded
no,
by a guy
it's
who's got 10 times all of our combined net worth.
well, it's the tricky thing is sometimes like the hard point is when only he can say it, right? The people in
I
your
think that was the
community
point, yeah.
have that. What is that term? It's called toxic positivity, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you only let the positivity of certain things in this environment,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it is these these quote unquote migrants, because you're using the fucking euphemistic term of it, right? You can only say the good contributions that they bring, right?
yeah.
And here's the thing. You and I both know that when it comes down to it, there are you. We can break it down and say like, hey, we can point out certain economic advantages. We can point out certain things that the any society can use these for to their
Mhm.
advantage, right? But we can also point to certain things like, well, okay, so a number one, if you're here illegally, that's a crime in and of
Yeah.
itself. So the thing when they say illegal immigrants, like only X amount of them have committed a crime, I'm like, well, it should be zero because once you come here illegally, that's a crime,
Yeah, yeah, I
right?
got you.
So you're 100% guilty. It's that some of you are 115, 130, 160%
Well,
guilty.
you're guilty of more than one thing.
That's
Put it that
correct,
way.
right? So I guess that's the thing is because for me, it's like, all right, so if we're going to decide what laws we're going to selectively enforce, all right, well, I don't want to pay taxes. I'm not gonna, right? That's the thing is when you come down to
Yeah,
it,
you don't get
you
a
say
choice.
we don't get to choose. I don't get to say like,
No.
you know what, I speed. It's just my thing.
Yeah.
It's just my thing, right?
Yeah, well, but if you get busted, you take your licks, you know.
But that's the thing. Right now, the fight they're having in the streets are we don't want these people to take their licks.
What, here or in England?
Oh no, no, no! England,
Oh, yeah.
Chicago, Portland, all these places where they're
I
scrapping the
saw a
street.
picture from Portland today where they cleaned it up.
Yeah, they're not fucking around
Apparently
anymore.
not, man.
No,
So
it turns out that when you put the agitators in jail, they eventually stop coming.
they do, and just to my point the other day, there's not as many of them as people think. We're not talking about massive crowds here. You can round those dudes up.
There are people that are good at getting crowds to show up.
But once you get those guys, you don't get crowds anymore.
That's sort of correct because I mean, that's
Yeah.
either Tim McGraw is playing or he's not, but the crowd is not going to be there if the performer is not
If he
there.
doesn't show up, then
Correct.
yeah, no, I'm not going to
There
fight
has
for
to
a
be a
parking
concert.
spot just to see a stage. Yeah. So yeah, no, and that's it. Almost seems a little obvious, but I did see some pictures on the X today that was like before and after, and it was like, oh, Well, that was easy.
Well, if anything, Patrick, what that shows you how ridiculously inorganic this is.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I get that now too. And I mean, so I was telling you about that podcast I watched. I've actually been tracking this dude down. He's writing a book on this. And I see he wasn't embedded with Antifa. He was he was a news cameraman.
Oh,
So he'd
okay,
go
yeah, yeah,
around in
yeah,
the camera
yeah,
van,
yeah.
kind of thing, and collect this stuff. And then he got attacked in uh, in L.A. because he's from L.A. And so he said, "Well, what if I ditch the van? Can I go and get close enough?" And no problem, kind of thing. But he was talking about that. It was just a handful of agitators who they're not coordinated, between different groups. He said there was like three places in the United States where they're a little bit better organized. Portland was one of them. Minneapolis was the other one.
Minneapolis doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, he said that had been way before George Floyd.
Yeah.
So it's just something like it's something fundamentally different about Minneapolis, and then Chicago was the third one. And they said, what about New York? And he's like, New York's impossible to organize in. So he says, there's too many freaking people there. So
They do. Well, you mentioned L.A. They do have some shit going on there too. But
there are, but he said that the guys in LA were easier to catch.
I
So,
believe that.
yeah. But anyway, um, because he said that it would basically restrict itself to certain like neighborhoods in LA. Because he said you couldn't get people to show up in certain neighborhoods. So you couldn't get enough people to show up. He said you're not getting a whole bunch of rich white people to show up in Compton.
Nope.
So yeah, and so he
Nope.
says if there's a riot in Compton, the cops know how to find the guys who've organized it. But not so much if it's in, say, like Orange County or something.
But it's
So,
not going to happen in Orange. Well,
no,
they'll shut it down super fast.
They'll shut it down
guys.
super
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
But he said it wasn't just Orange County's Malibu in particular. So that anyway, fascinating stuff. But you're right. Like it's there's not that many agitators. And so, it's surprising how quickly you can actually shut these things down with just a little bit of force. So,
Well, the funny thing is, this is people can debate the way to enforce it, but ultimately, when it comes down, and this is something they keep finding with the results, this is another thing that they keep finding. Like, why why can't they're like, why can't Democrat approval numbers get above like 30? And
yeah,
and one of the key points of this is it turns out that illegal immigration is actually like an 80-20 issue.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
And you have a lot of people that are willing to lay down and die with the extreme side of this that
Mhm.
says like we have to put a stop to all of this, whereas most people are like, well, no.
Yeah, no, no. It's like, yeah. And I mean, well, it's just like if you're on that side of that issue, you're just simply on the wrong side of the issue, because I mean, it's just it makes so much. I mean, and there's so many ways in which it makes sense to. First of all, okay, you're breaking the law. Second of all, if you know anybody who immigrated naturally, you know what a pain in the ass it is. And in this country, we
Yeah,
fucking hate it if you cut in line. So
very much so.
very
This
much
this
so. I mean, it's bad enough if you don't put your carts away at the fucking King Supers. Yeah. So,
bro.
but if you cut in line, I picked that one on purpose just to trigger you. But anyway, but but if you cut in line at the fucking checkout, you are done, kid. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and so we kind of get that one. And then on top of it, there's the economic aspect of it. It's like, well, actually, yeah, I do know people who are unemployed who could use a second job, kind of thing. Or wouldn't mind actually making more money doing this, but can't compete with the trabajadores, outside of the fucking Lowe's,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so I mean, it's just an issue that has like 9 different vectors of attack, and that's because it's actually in the wrong. Okay, so if it was actually a 50-50 issue, it'd be more difficult to attack, but it's
Yeah.
not. And so yeah, that's part of the reason why the Democrats can't get out of this. So the other part is it's absolutely leadership, and then the other thing is they're just kind of they. So the thing that actually ruined the Democrat Party right now, and like I saw a podcast on this today, or no, it was yesterday, that kind of lined this up really good. It was like, okay, so 2015, Donald Trump comes down the escalator. Okay, basically touting Pat Buchanan's message. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's actually the same thing. But here's the difference: Pat Buchanan was 20 years before, and so it took 20 years for the same message to take effect before enough people fucking saw it and said, well, yeah, Pat Buchanan, he's a nice guy. He didn't cheat on all of his wives. He didn't, like ostracize his children, blah, blah, blah. His protege, he wasn't a protege of Roy Cohn. He didn't have his cheesy TV show. Okay. So he would have been a much better dude to have as president. But since this guy had the same message and everybody had 20 years of time to like watch and see that he was right. And he had just come off a TV show where everybody recognized him as the boss. He got this entire humongous section of working class America that just completely abandoned the Democrats. And that really took the gas out of their tank. So, and it really showed what was left in the Democrat side. It was your Clinton guys, okay, your globalist Clinton, fucking Green Deal, doing technocrats, and then it's your Obamacrats, okay?
Yeah.
So, and then it's all these fucking lunatics, because it used to be the technocrats, some like your white collar manager types, okay, your Jews, okay, your money managers, and then all your union dudes.
Yeah.
All right, these two people, they actually make for pretty good allies in a lot of things, okay? Because if they move together in lockstep, you can not only organize a lot of votes, but they can negotiate with each other within the party. Okay, so and that worked. Okay, but then of course over the course of the years, the Democrats had to pick up all these lunatics in order to actually like kind of keep the party together. All right. Or at least keep it competitive in those.
Well, they bring energy. They bring passion and energy, and that's absolutely true.
But it also serves as this marginal buffer, okay, in case some of your union guys or some of your other dudes defect and go Republican on you, okay. And then of course, what did they exclude? They excluded the things that were slowly dying out in the Republican Party anyway. Your conservative coalition, your fucking warhawks, which all were basically gonzo by 2005, because everybody's like, wait a minute, the boys aren't back. It's been 3 fucking years. So,
there was some walking away with tails between their legs. Like the polite thing to do was not to point attention to it. Let me just kind of go
Dick Cheney just did right off into the sunset.
Yeah.
So, and then especially after Colin Powell died, everybody's like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
These guys are done. So those guys had basically left the Republican Party, leaving basically your Mitt Romney guys, your Tea Party guys, a few tiki torch Nazis who got called out for what they were eventually once all the union guys started showing up. So, and then, so basically what they've done. Yeah, exactly.
You got a problem with Carl?
You got a problem with Carl, man? Yeah.
We're working there 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your fucking problem?
Exactly. He's got seniority on you. Get the fuck out. So you got rid of all those guys. And then, what happens now is the Democrats are in a position where you can't make it work with your remaining Clinton-crats who are all getting older.
Well, they're all older, and the thing is, you cannot claim working class at all.
You can't. No, it's completely gonzo, and most of the Democrats out there they don't realize it still. They refuse to see the poll. They still think they're a union party. They still think that the vast majority of urban America is behind them. And they're wrong. I mean, like across the board wrong, man. And so now you get these oh, did you see the screaming California lady today? So
oh yeah,
that is so different. I mean, I wasn't even watching. I was doing something on my computer and I heard her over there. I was like, oh, that's Well, I didn't see that one at first. I saw the one where she was blowing up that interview with CBS.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, this is fucking CBS. Come on, man. So
this is a freebie.
She's like, I'm gonna call it right now. And I was like, oh, wait, what is this?
Oh, you're doing me a favor?
Doing me a favor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's how a lot of Democrats, they wouldn't see that as a problem.
No, they see it as righteous.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. That's the problem though, is because when a person gives you that softball,
but
right?
Everybody's had that lady as a boss. Nobody votes for that. Nobody votes for that.
Well, this is the thing you talked about with the fucking lunatics is when all of that shit cleared out, right? Yeah. Is it was amazing how many key positions were being occupied by fucking lunatics. Because when you look at the things that they have locked down are 100%, right? You're not going to crack the teachers. And the teachers are led by 2 of the bitchiest fucking most insane
Yeah.
leftists that you'll ever come across.
Yeah, the
And
teachers union itself is fucking useless, but I mean, it is a large voting block. I've never met a Republican chunk of the CEA or anything like that.
you never will.
No, I know you won't.
Oh,
So, but that's kind of my point on this one too.
the only thing that they do is they abstain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't participate.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and so I mean, okay, yeah, I know which lady you're talking about there. I've heard her speak a couple times, and
She's insane.
I know, and I mean, she was there when COVID was going on too, and it's like
Oh yeah.
she's one of the big reasons why they actually like were out of school almost like 6 months longer than they needed to be. So
Man, I gotta tell you, I have come across
it's crazy.
like parents talking about this shit is like, you don't know. They're
Oh
like,
yeah,
you don't know what that did to my family and what it did to my kids. What
yeah.
it does, like, I can guess, but I want to hear your version of this. And that shit was bad.
I don't know. My experience with it wasn't that bad, but
In terms of making up for what was lost,
yeah, but so I'm seeing all the kids on the back end of that now. Okay, now it'll be interesting when I get some that are a little bit younger. Okay, because if you were there, like my daughter was there in like fourth grade, third grade, and I've seen all the kids who were like juniors and seniors there.
yeah,
They're pretty much fine.
they are
So
now.
they are now. But like it'll be interesting because it'll be another year or two before I start seeing all the ones that were there during middle school. That's the one that I'm curious about. There might be a lot there.
Probably is because
I don't know. We'll see.
hey, those are.
This is the killing field.
Let me say this, Patrick. If I had the opportunity to burn 1 year of middle school, I would have happily.
I would have
taken it.
totally done it. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I would have done that and faked sick for another year.
I got long COVID.
Yeah.
This is twice as contagious.
Yeah. It is. It has repercussions you can't even possibly.
You might be
imagine.
getting it through the phone right now.
This is shit. And again, this is the other component of this here is like when it came down, like who's left. Um, Americans don't actually care what celebrities say. In fact, they loathe them.
Yeah, I mean, there's even like that keeps cracking. Like a little bit more each, and I mean, I've even seen like not just the Taylor Swift hate going on lately,
Yeah.
because now it's all like even her fan base is like, oh, well, can we be happy if she's happy? Kind of thing. And it's like,
Do you need to ask
it was
permission?
like, do you need to ask? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just kind of interesting seeing a whole stream on that the other day, or a thread on Twitter on that, and it was like, huh. I think we found a crack in the force here, man.
Oh, and again, that same thing where you're sitting there look at the fucking Harris campaign, and she's sitting there like she's a bitch, shut up, I've got this, and she's like, here, all right, no problem, I'm gonna win him tonight. I'm gonna win him tonight. You know who's gonna talk? Beyonce's gonna talk. I'm gonna write her a $10
She
million
even showed
check.
up.
And she did.
Oh,
She talked for a little bit and got a $10 million check.
at the DNC?
Yeah. Well, it was at one of her rallies. I can't remember which one. But
Oh, okay.
she did show up for
There
it.
was a night that she was supposed to show up and didn't. I thought it was the DNC.
There was a night that she was supposed to go, and everybody thought she was going to perform. Evidently, she
didn't.
no, she just talked, took $10 million, and this is the thing. And
Yeah, nobody cares about celebrities anymore.
no, that was their secret weapon. This was the thing that's the other component. This is the other thing that you lost was you stopped me. You were the anti-establishment party, and you spent the past 4 years
Mm-hmm.
being incredibly pro-established. I did those like go take the shot, right? Like
No, they don't. Yeah, they lost that too. They used to be the cool kids on the block. Now they're
the question everything's. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now they're the fucking hall monitors.
Absolutely.
And nobody likes
Yeah.
the hall monitors. That's why everybody hated the Republicans back in.
Oh, when they were
George
fucking
W. Bush
janitors?
did. Yeah, when they
Yeah.
were the janitors. They pick that up, put that away, took in your shirt.
Let me see your hall
Let
pass.
me
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put tattoos when you're not 18. So, all kinds of things. So yeah.
Like you don't get it. And then certain things that when people the comparisons they say, well, why isn't this more like Japan? I'm like, okay, let's do that. All right, let's start at childhood and say like, all right, so we're going to do this. Let me tell you how they're up in childhood. It's like, so you know how you wear what you want to wear. Okay, take that. No, what they're going to put you into, okay, is
I'm
and
gonna write that. Take that. No.
what I want you to understand, what you're wearing, okay, whether that be for men or women, and this goes to all the schools that you go to, is basically a modified military uniform. They
Yeah.
all are, right?
Yeah.
It's a modified military uniform,
They
and they're going
blink
to
in unison. Yeah.
correct, and you're going to have a series of haircuts you're allowed to have,
Yeah.
right?
No, they don't do that here.
Okay, and within that,
Well, some schools do.
right, and they're going to pop in there and they're going to say like, okay, so I noticed that you have blonde streaks in your hair.
Mm-mm.
You say, I think I'm allowed to. They say, oh, no problem. All right, what I need you to do is I need you to bring me your family register. That shows me that you have Europeans in your
Right.
heritage somewhere, so we can allow you to do this. You don't have that? Okay, either correct it or have it shaved by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? And there's this thing, it's like, well, we want all this thing of like a high trust society. It's like you haven't earned it. You wouldn't survive in a high trust society, right? Because it's not for you.
We have a very high trust society.
Well, we do,
Yeah.
but there's no version of things where you cannot put your vegetables on a stand by the road with a box for money, right?
Here?
Correct.
Yeah, you can.
You put one in Philadelphia?
Not in Philadelphia. I definitely put it in any rural community in the country, though.
Rural community.
Yeah, sure.
Right. But these are people that are like, well, why can't Cincinnati do this?
Because you'll lose all your money. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is why is Cincinnati not Tokyo?
It can't be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
These things are
I
incompatible.
don't think it would want to be either. So
No, you want the benefits of it, but you have to put in the other component of
that is definitely not worth the outcome. So that you just have to understand,
No.
dude. I mean, there are measures out there where actually take a look and you can measure certain cultural axes.
Yeah.
And in the United States, out of every country on the face of the planet, one of those is individual versus collectivism.
Yeah.
We fucking set the bar on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Japan's on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean
voluntary.
way on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, whether you call it voluntary or not, okay, we go back to behavioral psychology on this one. You grow up in that household. Eventually, that becomes good and right because it works out for you. So you pass that on to the next generation.
Right.
You know, and so if you call that voluntary, fine. You know,
well, because you can leave.
Totally, you can leave. A lot of people do.
Right.
A lot of people, I've known foreign students who come here to the United States, and they spend a year or two here, and oh, it's cool and stuff. And it's like, well, you want to stay? And they're like, nah, I'm good. It's like, why not? Well, this, and this. It's like, yeah, we don't have those things. That's okay, man. If that's important to you, I'm glad you enjoyed your time here. It's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because we ain't fucking changing some of those things, and that would be one of them for sure. I mean, there's like. The whole thing about like school uniforms here is you opt into that.
Correct. Well, yeah.
Or you get opted in by your parents.
That's the thing. Yeah. Is easy. That's you either got there by merit or demerit. That's the thing.
Or you just got defaulted into it because somebody else is making that decision for you. Whatever. But I mean, the thing about it is like, if the president were to come out next week and say everybody has to have school uniforms, people would be in the fucking streets way more than they would be over any other issue.
100%.
Yeah. So
they'd be. It's like, let me show you the Supreme Court says. Let me talk to you about the black armbands, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. We know.
Well, and see, Donald Trump, he's not stupid. He knows that if he did anything really bad like that, he would become the heel. So, and he's not playing the heel right now, man. He's done with that. So, I mean, he knows his role, and so that's why he's being good at finding other heels right now, particularly on the Democrat side of the fence. It's like every time he talks right now, he talks about like, trying to give, healthcare to illegal aliens, the stupid Democrats, and the Biden, and then now Obamacare is dumb and expensive.
Oh yeah.
So it's just funny, man. So it's like, all right, dude. I mean, okay, it's like once you see it, it's like one of those fish, that kind of like those rockfish that hide in the back. Okay, but once you can see it, you'll never unsee it.
Right.
And then you can just look in the aquarium later. It's like, oh, he's right there. This is fucking Donald Trump, man. I got him now. I know what he looks like.
It makes you wonder, like, is dinner at the house like this too? because when you get down to it,
Probably.
yeah, because all right, yeah, you're absolutely right. You sit down with him for 45 minutes, it's always the same. And yet, it's not, the thing is, you will get different material out of him every day, but it's going to come in like when you're there to see Highlander, you're going to
Oh
see
yeah,
swords and
you're
heads
gonna
get
see
cut
sword.
off,
Yeah, you're
but
gonna
it
see
is going to
sword
be a
fight.
little bit different, right?
Yep, every single day is gonna be a different bad guy, but it's not Duncan MacLeod. So yeah.
But it's gonna come out the same way. So he's gonna so like a topic is gonna come up. It's like, well, what are you doing about the shutdown? So the shutdown. It's a terrible thing, a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah, in
A
fact,
lot
we
of
can't we
people,
can't pay people
a lot of people want to work right now. A lot of people want to work. Butthole Jeffries
now.
has uh, Butthole Jeffries won't let them work. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Is I
no,
keep
he
trying to
doesn't
say
want them to work.
go to
You
work,
know,
and he says no. I don't want them to work. I want illegals to have money, right? And
right?
that's the
Yeah, I
thing.
want illegals to have your work.
And it's like, and I'll take questions from everybody except for CNN. You guys are also buttholes, right? Terrible people. And that's the thing. You know it's coming,
Yeah,
right? There's also like there is nobody in politics that has played the "it was like that when I got here" card.
Oh yeah, he does it all the time.
Like it's a year later.
It's a year later.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like I can't tell you. This is just like
It's an Obama problem.
oh my god,
The
an
Biden
Obama a Biden
administration.
problem.
Yeah,
It's like
Biden
fucking
problem. We
the,
had it fixed before, and he screwed it up again. So I thought it was fixed, but it's not fixed. So he must have done something while we weren't paying attention. So, because now it's a problem. So, you got to talk to the guys in Congress. They got to come together. But that guy, butthole Jeffries, he wants to give all the money to illegals and spend it on terrible, terrible. You know? So, it's very expensive. We're willing to spend some more money on it, but it's too expensive the way it is right now. And the coverage is just awful.
all right, so
So,
you've seen it.
yeah, I mean, we can move forward on this now that I closed the border. Biden didn't close the border. Let millions of people in.
I close the border.
I closed the border. I was said, no, no, no more people from prisons and insane asylums.
And he and his administration
The
kicked the
little
door right
yeah,
open.
kicked it right open. She
Put
just left
Kamala
it
Harris in
open.
charge, and she just kicked the door right
Yeah.
open. She was the one in charge of it.
Yeah, once you see him, you're like, oh, there, yeah, okay. You know right where he's going too.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
it, and I mean, it's easy to see, and it's funny. Like even on Twitter, there's guys that I still follow, man, that I respect that just don't. They just don't get it, man. And I mean, these are guys who write for a living,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, oh, come on, dude. And it's not about audience because we're talking about dudes who get paid either way, kind of thing. It's not about clicks and views and Tuckerisms and stuff like that. It's like, dude, it's right there. It's right. I mean, it's like you've driven around the parking lot 6 times and gone past the same fucking spot. You just refuse to pull into it, man. So
Pat, what I want to see tomorrow from those journalists,
you're
okay,
not going to see it, man.
what I want to see is yeah, not yeah, but still.
I'm going to see, yeah, but still on a lot of them. There's one guy that I'm watching in particular. I love him, man. I disagree with just about everything he says, but he sticks to his guns and he's articulate on a lot of things. But this Gaza thing is just he's not going to take it well because he got everything that he asked for, but it was that guy who gave it to him. So it's not going to work, man. And I mean, this guy is no fan of Netanyahu, and he doesn't realize that Donald Trump has that dude in a headlock right now.
Like no one else had.
I mean, nobody. I mean, Bill Clinton couldn't even get him in a headlock, and Donald Trump's like, "Hey, look what I found here." You want out of there?
Between you and me, Bill, which one of us actually did the professional wrestling?
Right? Yeah. Oh, he's got him in an absolute headlock. It's. I mean, he did it all in broad daylight too, and very few people called it. I did see one or two guys call that one. It was just like, no, he's going to go around, and then that whole thing last week with Qatar and giving them basically, not really like a security guarantee, but kind of like, well, while I'm president, nobody's going to attack you, kind of thing. And they said, oh, great, because we got these guys in this hotel that just got attacked by those guys over there, and so if we give you those guys, Can we have that
What do we
deal?
get for that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
No, no, they'll never attack you again if you give us this guy. He went around to everybody else and said, you know what, you're going to make a fortune. You're going to make a mint off this place. It's going to be a new like French Riviera on the Mediterranean. You all want to get on this, and blah blah
I
blah.
would.
Yeah, and they're all like, yeah, those two guys, the neighbors over there have been going at it for years, man. Everybody just needs to chill the fuck out because we just want to make money. So,
Again, I would. I mean,
yeah,
that would.
and he got that guy in a headlock. He was like, "Hey, look, everybody's on board with this. Where are you?" And even today, like before I came over here, he said, "Yeah, I'll go over to Egypt. I'll help him sign it." I was like, "Yeah, of course you will. You want to be right in the middle of that picture."
Right. I'm not going to force you, but I'm letting you know that the sign-up sheet is in the break room.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So no, yeah, it's just brilliant, man. I mean, I still think he's a worm, human being. My God, man, it's kind of fun to watch him do his thing.
Yeah, but
So,
this is you're right, and I'm not going to fight with you on this because yeah, there's certain. All right, I do think that he does have a certain amount of actual like genuine care and affection in his heart for his family.
I think he actually cares about people. So, which is something
Right.
that's kind of like, I mean, oh my God, no. I mean, his heart is nothing but pure fucking bile. And it's like, actually, no, man. I mean, he doesn't like seeing, little kids get blowed up. He doesn't like, I mean, like, you have a bona fide pacifist president right now, and nobody's giving him credit for that.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
the thing about this is that even people. I mean, this was like the Bill Maher thing. He's like, I don't agree with anything that you do. But
Yeah.
when he came out, it was like he's a really good and he's the nicest guy. That
Yeah, I've
meeting
heard
that
that
person
too.
and people
Yeah.
that meet him all like uniformly come across
Right, right,
where
right.
it's like I don't believe what he believes in,
Yeah.
but I think he's a nice guy,
Yeah, I've
right?
heard that. I've heard a lot of people say that.
And I think that's a lot to it. And I think you're right. There is a wormy aspect to it, but the question is the contemporary that he's around, if he is a fucking earthworm, right? What are the things that he's surrounded by? Because you and I talk on, it's the same thing, it's the Russia thing. We talk about this on a logical human level,
Yeah.
right? We sit there and say, like, well, you put a lot of dudes in the ground. Um, People don't like you. The rest of the world, like, this is not something that after it's done,
Mm.
people are going to say, you're cool,
Oh
right?
yeah, we're gonna have the fucking next Olympics in Moscow. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's the thing is we approach this like humans. And if Donald Trump is a worm, right? Then what other kind of fucking insectoids are out there running the globe?
Well, I don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Do worms do well amongst insects?
no.
I don't know.
So I don't think he's a worm because of that. I think he's a worm because of what he did to his wife. So
Pardon, like
dude, that's something very.
this is,
That is my very specific thing.
hey
To
man,
deal with
like
that.
when people make that argument and they say like, look, if you see how a person treats their dog, you see how they'll treat the rest of life, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, there is a version of this where do you treat your wife like crap?
Well, and maybe he doesn't anymore, but still at the same point in time, you don't reward that kind of behavior. And I don't think that like insectoids rule the world kind of thing. I
No,
think most people actually could get to that level are A, fairly competent, B, pretty genuine on a certain level. I mean, it takes a little bit of skill to actually get to a level like that.
oh sure. I think a lot of your people that are in it just for like power, right, and are completely disingenuine, they'll make it up a couple of ranks, but they
Yeah.
hard cap at a certain spot.
Well, eventually you get found out, or
Yeah.
you fuck something up and nobody's got your back,
Yeah, yeah,
or like you get promoted beyond your competence. That happens.
yeah.
So that happens. But I mean, like I'm just speaking from experience of dealing with like people who run companies and stuff.
Oh,
Most of them are
yeah.
pretty fucking smart and they're not bad dudes. You're gonna find one every now and then who's retarded because his dad,
Yeah.
built this company.
Yeah.
That's not like they only last one generation, so that's not that common.
The Fords
but
are
you
not
do
even in
find it.
charge of Ford anymore.
Well, no, it haven't been for two generations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the company's fine. So,
in great shape,
yeah,
actually.
it's fine.
Yeah,
So, but like, I mean, it's the people on the peripheries, like the people who are around Biden, that you have to watch out for.
correct.
Because
Yeah.
eventually you find some guy who's going someplace, and just like hook your wagon to him just to get your hands near the levers, and then you fuck things up royal. We've seen a lot of people do that over the years.
Well, buddy, and that's it, when all said and done.
I mean,
If
Trump one had a bunch of those guys around him. So in the first,
he did.
dude, he had fucking John Bolton in his fucking
Oh,
administration. Dude, that guy's an idiot. So, well, he's not an idiot. He's insane. We'll put it that way. So,
those things are not. One can cause the other.
I don't know which way the causality runs in his direction, but
No,
I
he.
mean, you talk about a guy who could never get anywhere near that kind of authority on his own.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there you
yeah.
go. You got one of those. And I mean, to some extent, Hillary Clinton was kind of the same way. So, I mean,
Uh,
maybe if she had stuck around in the Senate for another 10 years, she could have done her own thing. I don't know. Okay, but everybody kind of sniffed that out of her in 2016. So,
well, I agree.
yeah.
There was never any version unless you had to be one of the true believers to believe and say like, actually, I think she wants this because she wants what's best for people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And most people thought because she wants what's best for Hillary Clinton.
Well, I think that was pretty. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was pretty universally
yeah.
held. Yeah.
And I got to tell you, when it comes down to it, and I see this person, I see the way that she talks now, I see that one of the things that
She's
she'll.
actually a little bit more chill now than she used to be.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
really?
no, no, no. She is still on Twitter. You know what she does?
Oh, I don't follow her on Twitter.
Oh, you probably shouldn't. Well,
Should I?
here's the thing: is she? You can't start a shitstorm over there with what she does. Is basically she has replies turned off. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, she'll basically go out there and lob grenades and then go ahead and just switch off replies. And here's the thing: you can do
She's
that.
probably got a manager for her.
Well, she does. And look,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, everything that I've seen about this person, the way she fucking whined about everything and how it all went down, I don't think that she wanted to be president except for the fact that her husband was.
I don't know that much about her. I never read any of her stuff. Like after 2016, she was completely off my radar. I just saw that she did an interview a little while ago where she was kind of jokey laughing about her loss. And I was like, all right, so maybe you eased up a little bit and you're over it. I mean, I don't know.
You know who isn't?
Who?
Kamala Harris.
No, but oh man, I hear her book is actually kind of juicy. I'm not going to pay for it, but
No, no.
but man, that thing got fucking 86 on most scenes pretty quick, just because of like, I mean, dude, it's Donald Trump just keeps putting wash in a wash machine, man. So it is factory fresh, and then there's new stuff in there every day, and then there's something new coming out. The next presidency, JD Vance, is going to be fucking boring compared to this. So,
Well, Patrick, they keep.
which is fine, but whatever. I'm just saying right now, enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to last.
No, no, no.
So yeah,
As a he, you'd think there'd be more opposition, right? But he's just as my cousin once said, right? When he was talking about Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and I said, "Are you any good?" He said, "I'm undefeated, but I play chumps." And
hmm.
that's the thing. Right now, Donald Trump is he is just goal hanging. He has been in the
Uh,
fucking paint taking uncontested layups because the team he's playing against
I don't.
are
I,
sabotaging themselves so hard.
I don't think he's playing that game, and so I don't think he's playing against the Democrats. He does that as like that's his warm up game every day. Okay, so like him actually putting the Israelis in the position where they basically
Uh,
have to say yes.
uh,
That's genius. Him getting okay. So I did look into the whole Ukraine and harpoon missile thing. I don't know if they're actually going to get any of them.
I know they're getting tomahawks.
No, no, no. I'm sorry, Tomahawks. They are not. No, I don't. No, they're not actually going to give them any directly. So what we're doing is we're allowing
Oh, to NATO.
we're allowing NATO to buy them,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if then
yeah,
NATO countries choose to give them to Ukraine,
yeah.
that's fine. But here's the whole thing. All right, they don't work without American targeting packages. And if you actually take a look at like where the Russians produce a lot of their drones, because they launch about 250 drones towards Ukraine a night. Okay, so and there's these like Iranian Shahed ones that are basically it's a fucking lawnmower with two sheets of plywood and a bomb underneath it. Okay, but they launch 300 of them a night, so especially on busy nights. And so the factory's way the fuck out past the Ural Mountains. They know where it is. All
Mm,
right, you
mm.
can't hit that with a drone that's big enough to actually do a lot of damage, but you could hit it with the Tomahawk missile. And so the last time when we told the Russians that, hey, maybe we'll actually give them these Gimler's missiles, what did the Russians do?
Didn't is that when they threatened to start World War III?
Well, they do that. They do that. That's called Friday. So
Well, I'm not technically wrong, but you're
you're
right.
not wrong. But
Right.
so anyway, what they did at that point in time was they actually started moving some of their production facilities further back,
Ah,
outside
okay.
of the
All
range
right.
of that missile.
Yeah.
And then so we saw them do that, and we said, well, maybe we'll give them some attack missiles, which had like another 300-400 kilometer range on them. And so the Russians were like, no, you're not going to do that. And, yeah. And so we give them a couple, and they launched them, and say, fuck, Russians are like, fuck, they got them now. And so they move it back. All right. And so then this last time, the British gave them their version of a cruise missile, which doesn't go as far as a harpoon or I mean a tomahawk does. It's called a Storm Shadow. And so the British gave them a couple, and the Ukrainians launched them at this factory, a couple different facilities. And fuck, they got those now, so they moved back. And so this is a playbook we've already used on them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
All
and
right.
so because here's the kind of the rub. The Ukrainians already possess drones that have a larger warhead on them than Tomahawk missiles can carry. So they got about 1,000 kilogram warhead on them. The Ukrainians have already developed drones that have 1,500 kilogram warheads on them. Okay, so they just move slow. Okay, and so it's hard to find. It's hard to get one in there without it. They'll sneak them in vans. Okay, and like Dukes of Hazard it over the border, and then just drive to the place and then launch it out of the van. So if it can get there, but the Russians gotten kind of wise to this because they've done it a couple times. They did to an airfield last year, blew up a whole bunch of their fucking
Yeah, I sure
planes.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did it. They hit a refinery way the fuck out in Siberia using this tactic, and so the Russians are kind of like, there's a van parked down by the river near near our Kilimajig factory. So you might want to go check that out. And so it might just be a little bit of a bluff here with him actually getting that. But he's smart because what he's done is he's cut off basically all military aid to Ukraine, but he's agreed to allow NATO because we any weapons that we give to NATO, we have to give them permission if they sell it to somebody outside of NATO. And so
Oh,
he's
okay.
basically said, go for it, okay? And then they sell this shit to NATO because now that speaking of getting people in headlocks, so he went around and he said, well, NATO, you guys don't fucking pay. All right, so you guys need to get up to 5%. They get up to 5%. And what does he do? He said, hey, the Lockheed store is open. And that's what he's been doing. So it's fucking brilliant, man. It's so much fun to watch once you see what he's doing. And that's what he's been doing, man. So it's brilliant. You're not going to see a president do this again.
Patrick, you mentioned this, not too long ago, and this is also still true. Is there is money coming in on tariffs?
There is. I can't. It's really hard to figure out exactly how much it is, though,
All right.
because it takes months for them to actually like reconcile all those numbers.
Okay. Now
But you're right. There
the
is
numbers that
money.
I've seen are actually quite impressive. Now,
Yeah.
I also understand that part of what's going to be done with this is that is going to be sent. Some of that will be sent to farmers to ease the problems they've been having
Okay.
as a
With
result of
soybeans.
this. Yeah, some other things. I don't know all the agricultural parts that are suffering as a part of this, but my understanding is it's actually bringing in quite a bit of money.
Yeah. So that they had a one quarter there where we were actually in the black for the
It's
first time
wild.
since 1999, so or 2001, whenever those planes and that thing happened.
Right.
Yeah. So, but then like the follow up quarter, I think the numbers for that are being finalized now. And so it'll be curious to see if that trend actually continued. And so
I'm interested. I mean, there are some
I'm interested
people.
too, man.
The one of the funniest talks that I saw. Again, this is just they call him the soundbite president for a reason. Was when he was with Mr. Canada the other day. And did you see this one?
No, but I heard about it.
Oh God, it was one of the most brilliant things that I ever heard. Is he's sitting there and he always does this, when he's got the other person sitting next to him. He's kind of like, love talking to this guy. I see why he won the election, won by quite a lot. We don't agree with everything, but he is a wonderful man here, and he's trying to. He's talking about the negotiations, and he's like, and he's trying to win for his country, and I respect that. And so one of the one of the reporters there asked like, "So why haven't you come to an agreement?" And he's like, "Well, because I want to win too." I can't. It's something really similar to that, but it
Yeah.
was like fucking genius. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's
Right,
right.
yeah.
That's how negotiation
That's how it's
works."
supposed to work. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And again, that's sort of like you talked about it. This wouldn't have happened in 2016.
You no.
It's it only works now. And again, it's because yeah, the team he put together, part of it was when you run as an outsider, you're supposed to bring outsiders in, but that also means that you're putting together the fucking team for Major League, right?
Yeah.
Is yeah, you're calling up dudes from like the California Penal League,
Right,
and
right.
you put it together, and it sometimes works.
It's rarely, yeah.
Rarely,
Rarely.
right? You were supposed to take dead last,
It's
right?
funny, he was just so much smarter, man. I mean, like I was thinking back, I was watching Pam Bondi yesterday. I'm not that impressed with her. No.
I
Uh,
expected her to be kicking way more ass and taking way more names.
she looked
Tired?
I'm forced. We'll put it
Yeah,
that way. It looked like okay, one more song and dance. Here we go.
yeah,
Welcome,
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, to the big top. You
yeah.
know,
He had a
I'm your host, Pam Bondi, that kind of thing. But anyway,
yeah, yeah.
so but like, but it reminded me of how he absolutely 86 Matt Gates. you know, so, and everybody thought that that guy was like, oh well, Trump's gonna pick some fucking idiot because Trump's an idiot, not realizing that Trump like was like, hey man, the Titanic's sinking. You want the lifeboat first? I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, you might want to get off now. And then, oh yeah, just in case, you should probably resign from Congress before you. And now where is he?
Hopefully enjoying his retirement.
He's like 32. So
You can enjoy retirement. I mean, you can get bought out at a very early
I
age.
don't think anybody gave him a check. So let me put it
I
that way.
agree.
Yeah.
Um,
So, but anyway, like my point isn't like what's going on with Matt Gates. It's just like, okay, so Trump absolutely elbowed him off, like, because he recognized him for what he was. He was like, so you're going to be a lightning rod around. You have to understand, I'm the lightning rod. This is how the engine works, kind of thing. I don't need you. So, and then the same thing's true with Ice Barbie, So she has learned her place. So she shows up on TV when there's nobody else there, for those things. And I mean, it is one of those things where I thought for sure that we're going to see, she can fuck this up. She can fuck this. She's going to shoot another dog. Okay, she had a little South Park action there, which didn't help her because she reacted poorly to it. So, but then she turned around and was fine and it went away, even though it was a really funny bit, but whatever.
mhm,
Okay. But now, like, you see her occasionally on certain things, but that's only if that dude isn't there.
that's
And
correct.
if that
Yeah,
dude is in there, then she's definitely in the background for that. And
correct.
so, and so she kind of learned her spot. Pete Hegseth has kind of learned his in some respects, because he's like, okay, I'll do some of the things that the president doesn't really care about
Right.
and so we're going to go do this military hoorah, blah, blah thing. And, no beards and no tattoos, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, yeah, he doesn't care about that.
No,
because he knows he's not going to use you guys for the next 3.5 years.
no, it's yeah.
So, if you want to go do that war readiness thing, that's fine. But understand, we're not going to use you.
I think part of it. Look, there's a couple components that you're right. Well, the other component is that it also doesn't go as far as it used to. Like
No.
the thing between the Russia Ukraine conflict is one of the things that it came up just today. They were talking about possible beginning conflicts with the cartels, and
Oh, in Venezuela.
right, and well, Mexico.
Yeah, maybe.
Now the thing was, people were like, "Oh, you're going to risk American troops," and
I don't
I
think
was
so.
like, "No,
No,
this is going to be drone on drone on drone on drone
I
action,
don't even know if it's going to be that, man.
if it's anything."
I think like he's pretty clever. I mean, we'll have to watch and see what happens with Venezuela. Like, so some of the military guys that I watch, so they're usually pretty good at calling this. Like, okay, this is what he's actually up to, and this is what's going on. And a lot of times they turn out to be right, but I think all three of the guys that I trust are kind of like, mm, on this one is like, let's see. He's like, okay, so he's got an MEU stationed off Venezuela. That's not enough to do anything. Okay, it's like 1,800 Marines. All right, you're not going to take Marine casualties directly in an undeclared conflict in the middle of the Caribbean, with fucking cruise ships going all over the place and stuff. Blah blah blah. Okay, so what's he doing? What's the whole plan here? I mean, is he just going to try and fucking tomahawk Maduro, you know, and do like maybe what we should have done to Saddam thing, and then like pieces, or has he just got a thumb on him? Like right now, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, fucker, so knock this off. We're going to blow up your little speedboats full of cocaine here, and just
Fucking A, if I didn't, you must have seen the same footage
I've
I did.
seen
It's like, this is
they've done
badass.
like three or four of them now, where they just hit them with a single Hellfire missile, and you see the dudes just like arms go like.
You're right, man.
They
Fucking,
don't even stop to pick up the drugs; they just let it sink.
it's on fire. Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
my
no,
problem.
you're
Yeah,
right. Everything it looks like a fucking red alert animation. It
it
really
totally
does.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, but like, yeah, like so Hegseth knows where he belongs, and I'm no fan of his, but like I'm not necessarily really.
Not a
I'm not
fan, but not
partic-
an enemy. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I'm kind of neutral on the guy now. I didn't like him at first, but okay, fine. If you want dudes to do more pull-ups and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. Some 19-year-old Ukrainian girl is going to blow all your arms off anyway with an FPV drone. I think you guys know that because you got guys over there watching what's going on. So, if this is just window dressing to make the military feel a little bit better about itself, that's fine. But they,
that's fine. No,
but the
that's okay. Yeah.
the idea that, and I think Trump intrinsically knows this, that okay, if Russia rolls up on Poland tomorrow, we're not sending a goddamn thing over there. So not even a thing. I mean, we'll be like, all right, well, if they make it to France, we'll be there. But I think everybody knows it just can't happen. You know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, call us when they get to like Western Germany. So
If we have to
yeah,
divide them again, this is yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, and the same thing's true with like Taiwan because I've been seeing some reading on this lately. And there's people in the Trump administration not happy with Taiwan. They're like, you guys aren't doing enough. And so, if the Chinese decide to roll your shit, that doesn't, it's not an automatic yes from us, in terms of being over there. And I think if Donald Trump had to turn around and try and sell a war to the United States population, he wouldn't be able to make the sale. And I think he knows that. So I think he knows that, man. So,
Wouldn't surprise me.
uh,
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It's. I guess the takeaway on this here is when it comes to his staff, or at least this is my perspective on this here, because the going down the roster of people that you're talking about, I think that the people whose names don't keep coming up are actually putting in some good work. I
oh,
think
yeah.
it's the people like when you talk about like Pam Bondi and stuff like that. I think the people who probably aren't doing the best work are the
Yeah.
ones who are out there. I think that there are people out there who are never get their names.
There's a few.
We talked about uh, we talked about a couple of like Kennedy's name doesn't come up anymore. And that's because I think he's busy. I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
think he's
actually
busy.
taking care of
I
shit.
see him pop up every now and then, but it's usually some kind of like Atlantic article throwing some
Oh,
grenades
they're
or something.
trying to get him on
I
some
know
shit,
they always
so
try and
that's
do something
fine.
like that, but I don't see like he's not involved in being tested in testifying before Congress and stuff.
Mm-mm.
He did that like maybe 2 months ago or 3 months ago. I can't remember what the occasion was,
Yeah,
but I mean, and like some of the clips that came out of it were innocuous, and it was like okay,
right.
yeah, but like there's other people that you just don't hear from anymore. From his cabinet, and the one that you never see is his fucking chief of staff. So Susie Wiles,
Well, she does not talk to anybody, if I
she does
recall.
not talk to anybody, and apparently she is universally worshipped in the government as being basically, not necessarily the presidential whisperer, but like
Close to the next best thing.
she knows how to let him do his thing and be effective.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
so it's just, and that, I mean, and like JD Vance occupies a unique position in the vice presidency that we haven't seen since like Dick Cheney days, where he's actually out there doing stuff.
Every day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the previous two vice presidents, I mean, Joe Biden did it. I mean, as much as I liked him back in the day, Barack Obama did not like him, so and didn't let him do shit.
He's got great quotes to back it up. Yeah,
He's got great
yeah,
quotes to back
yeah.
it up. And then, of course, when uh, um,
Ms. Harris.
Ms. Harris, but more so Mike Pence was around.
Oh, yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
don't mind Mike Pence, man. I really don't. I actually think that history is going to treat him a little bit better than, like Dan Quayle's of the world, your other one-term vice
All
presidents out
right,
there.
fair enough.
Well, they're definitely going to treat him better than Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Because remember, Joe Biden like said, "Well, I don't want to like treat my vice president the way that fucking I got treated," and so that's how she became the border czar and other things that, and all blew up in her face later. Because it turns out she's actually not very good at any of those things.
She didn't even go down there, dude.
No, I know. Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that she didn't do. But and like it's kind of funny that see that's the book that I'm waiting for is his book. His book is supposed to drop later this year. So
Biden's?
Biden's book. Biden's got a humongous book deal. So Hunter Biden's out of daddy money. So you gotta find a way to make it somehow.
I do. Again, this is the stuff that is like, this is classist. Nah, it's funny. It was like when Trump took down Biden's portrait, put a portrait of the auto pen.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I mean, that's so. It's
That's
so
that's exactly
childish.
what he would do. Yeah.
It's so childish that it makes me laugh.
Well, that was the whole sombreros thing.
You just can't be like, if you think they're like, well, this is gonna ruin this game. It's like, no, people are digging this, man.
No,
People are done with the whole like, oh, this is so offensive. Like, nobody fucking
nobody.
cares anymore.
No, it was funny because like they did that and they did that stupid cat video. And then like within 10 minutes, the Republicans came back out. They put sombreros on the cats. It was like, oh, dude, you guys are just getting
You
got.
don't know how to do this,
You don't
man.
know
You
how to
guys
do
are
this.
you guys are competing in a realm that you don't know how to, man. It is. I mean, they've made jokes about it for years about like left wing memes and it's words, 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 um, and they're absolutely right.
They are right.
That doesn't mean that politically it's correct. It means that they're good at putting out concise messages,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Um, but yeah, that's the thing. Like the same thing goes with Mama Tulsi. Is she appeared in front of Congress like once?
I haven't seen her too much.
Nope.
Mm.
And when she appeared in front of Congress and people asked her questions, she like filed her nails and said, "Did anybody have a smart question to ask me?" It's like, because I'm going to get back to work if you don't.
Yeah,
And I think that she's doing her thing. I think there are people actually getting work done,
it's possible.
just not having their names called.
So I don't know, man. I'm like that's the one thing. Rubio and Tulsi and
Rubio is a great example. Yeah.
well, yeah, but here's my point about like I'll end on this one here tonight is Rubio, Tulsi, and Pete Hegseth. They're all cul-de-sac right now because quite honestly,
Yeah.
dude, all foreign policy is going through the president. He's tamping everything down. He's basically going to put a lot of these guys out of jobs by basically extracting us from a lot of these things. that have been problematic over the last 10 years. And, like, I mean,
Well,
his whole thing about collapsing Rubio into both the NSA and the Secretary of State means that probably for the foreseeable future, that fucking like extremely powerful but non-politically appointed job of the NSA director is not going to exist. So,
unless somebody creates it again, and that
well,
lets
it's
you know what
still
they're up to.
there.
Yeah,
It's actually in the
yeah.
law that it's okay, but by basically saying, actually, you know what? And I don't need to have an intelligence briefing every fucking day. I can do it about every week. So, I mean, like, just think about what that's actually doing. Is it just separating that whole thing away from the seat of power? And that's not a bad thing. That's what a lot of people have been hoping for a long time. Well, that's Tulsi's job. So she might be the last person with that fucking
That's
job.
fine.
Yeah.
It's yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, good point. Very good point. Yeah, we were stopping.
All right,
This
I'm
for hours.
patching.
I'm Jeffrey.
In the butt.
Yeah.